Hello everyone and welcome back to our YouTube channel. I hope that wherever you are in the world you are happy and well.
Yes, we have a really good video for you guys today. A little bit of escapism. Obviously we can't travel at the moment because there is a lockdown, but when we can travel we want to give you some inspiration of where you might want to go. So we're going to talk all about our top 5 places that we've travelled in the world in our van.
Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video.
Right, I just want to say before we go into the countries, there's no particular order. It's not best to worst or whatever, because they are all amazing and they're places that have taken our breath away.
Yeah, if you guys live in one of these countries, please don't fight in the comments over whose country's better, because they're all amazing countries.
I know Roger's going to be in there. Roger! Okay, so the first country is...
Norway.
It's hardly a surprise really, is it?
Norway is absolutely stunning. We fell in love with it the moment we got there, and it just has a little bit of everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, so it's got mountains.
Definitely amazing mountains.
It's got insane mountains from the south all the way up to the north. I can't think of one section of Norway that doesn't have mountains.
The fjords.
The fjords are just beautiful. Beautiful. And they go pretty much everywhere. There's fjords everywhere. And if you don't know what a fjord is, it's kind of like well, it is a lake kind of thing that is attached to the sea. That's the worst description of a fjord ever. Don't listen to me. That's just scrap that.
Islands.
Yes,
it's got
islands.
amazing islands like the Lofoten Islands that we've been lucky enough to spend a lot of time on. There's so many different places on the Lofoten Islands to travel to. Also, Senja was one of our favourite places. But then places like Bergen and central Norway are absolutely stunning as well.
And don't forget the Lyngen Alps.
Oh,
They were
the
a new
Lyngen
addition.
Alps.
Yeah.
And we saw porpoises. Like, we literally got out of our van one morning and Bee was screaming at me, there's porpoises. So I got the drone up and managed to get a couple of shots of them.
I'm happy you're actually calling them porpoises now, because we've been fighting for 6 months about whether they were dolphins or porpoises, and I like to think, because I am an animal conservationist with a degree, that I know what I'm talking about when it comes to them. But
They're very similar.
Yeah, they are. They are similar, but they're very different. But the thing is, the one thing that everyone thinks about with Norway, Aurora.
Oh, the Northern Lights. So we were lucky enough the last time that we were in Norway to see the most stunning display of the Aurora Borealis, the Northern Lights. It's such a spectacle, and we were able to stand under it for many evenings and just watching it chop and change throughout the sky. It's like a fireworks display.
And another thing worth knowing about Norway, I mean, there's just so much good stuff. Wild camping is actively encouraged. Yeah. Countries in the Nordics really encourage people to camp out, go and explore the outdoors and stuff. So you will always see people out on the trails, living life, camping, in their motorhomes, doing whatever. It's really, really inspirational there.
Yeah, it's definitely a big part of their culture, and generally the Norwegian people are such a lovely bunch of people. We have been met with open arms in Norway, and been welcomed as if it's our home country.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Yeah, that really makes you feel at home when you're travelling around Norway. And you know, they provide great things, like some places you'll pull up and there'll be parking spots dedicated for camper vans, and there will be places where, you know, like national parks and stuff, where there's places with chopped wood and fire pits and stuff like that. So it's a really amazing place to travel.
It's also very good for motorhomes in terms of getting water, emptying toilets and all that sort of boring stuff. Okay, so country number 2. I'm going to pluck it out of my mind. Let's go with the United States of America.
Such a vast place.
Massive.
And such an incredible place to travel. Because there's so many different places to travel and it is so massive, it's almost like you're travelling into different countries in different areas that you go.
Totally true. And the things that really stick out for me with travelling in the United States are the national forests, so the fire roads that you can drive up, and BLM land, because those two things have some amazing places where you can stay out in the middle of nowhere, alone or with a group, and we've experienced the most insane places whilst we've been travelling in vans there.
We were lucky enough to have a Winnebago Revel for 3 weeks, and we travelled around. It's a Sprinter 4x4, and we took it to some incredible places off-road, and that's the beauty of the BLM land. It's all off-road, and it's like fire tracks and stuff like that, so you can really get away from other people.
Exactly, and like Theo said, the United States is massive. There's a lot to see there. You've got deserts, you've got mountains, you've even got sand dunes. That was totally surreal when we found that.
We went sandboarding, and that's something I never thought I'd do. Very similar to snowboarding, but on sand. And it was so warm. It was just an amazing experience. So I definitely recommend that if you are in the States. But we spent a lot of time around Colorado, didn't we?
We did. We spent a lot of time in Colorado. I feel like I know Colorado really well now. And we also went to quite a few national parks. We absolutely love the national parks in the US, and whenever we go there we always end up buying a parks pass, which if you've never got one before is well worth it, because for usually it's like $80 or something. It lasts for a year and you can go to any national park in the US within that fee, so you haven't got to pay anything extra, and it's normally about $25 just to go to one.
And it's not per person, it's per car. So if you've got a car full of people, you're with that pass, which is like $80 for a year, which is just, you know, that's outstanding really, especially because there's so many national parks. But you all get entry into the park, which is a very good deal indeed.
So I'm going to go on to number 3. Which one should we choose for number 3? I'm thinking Portugal.
Portugal. Well, so a lot of you guys will know that we spend a lot of time in Portugal. We have land there. That's kind of like where our base is. And it's just an incredibly friendly, a very beautiful, and also it feels like it does have a little bit of everything as well. Even though it's a small country, it has mountains, but you've got a stunning coastline.
The coastline is what really brings
Blows you
Portugal
away.
together. It's so dynamic, all the way from the north to the south and going across into Spain. It's just majestic. You've got the Atlantic, you've got the Mediterranean, and it's a surfer's paradise for that reason.
Yeah, it's a very chilled atmosphere, and that is why you get a lot of surfers on the coast, because the waves are some of the best waves in the world. They actually have a big competition, like big surf competition in a place called Nazaré, which is kind of, I don't know where it's...
I think it's north of Lisbon.
Yeah, north of Lisbon, but it's not far from Lisbon at all actually. And some of the waves are 100 foot tall.
Oh gosh, that makes me scared. I am a little bit scared of massive waves. I've had some incidents in the past of being pummeled whilst I've been trying to bodyboard, so that is not my cup of tea, but it's cool to see nevertheless.
Exactly. And there's also some amazing lakes. There's a lot of cool stuff to do inland as well as the coastal areas. So if you've not been to Portugal, it's usually on the top list of van lifers to go there. But if you've not been, go check it out because it's gorgeous.
Before we go any further, I would like to talk about today's sponsor, which is Squarespace. If you've never heard of Squarespace, it's a fantastic online platform where you can easily build a website. You don't have to have any experience at all. You can just drag and drop and create something that is completely unique to you. So if you want a blog or you've got photos to show, maybe you do embroidery or crafting, maybe you're a writer, there's so many different things you can use Squarespace for. We love to use it for our blogs. It's great as a way to be able to just express our creativity.
And now's a brilliant time to actually sign up to Squarespace, because you guys are going to have so much time on your hands. We're all locked down in our houses, in our vans. Now's the perfect time to set your own blog, your own website up, and just get creative.
Exactly. So if you want a 14-day free trial and then 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain on Squarespace, just head to squarespace.com/indieproject and the rest is yours. Okay, so country number 4?
Yep, let's do it. Slovenia.
Slovenia. This was the country that blew us away. This was the country that we first went to in 2015, and we had no idea it would be as amazing as it was.
Bee actually had a friend from Slovenia who would always say, my country is just amazing. And she'd just go on and on about how amazing her country was. And Bee was like, oh, yeah, you know, everyone says that. I'm sure it's nice and whatnot. Well, we got there and we were like, she's right. This is stunning.
This is stunning. And we actually went back and forth into Slovenia because we just loved it so much. So it's a small country. And if you don't know where Slovenia even is, it's positioned between like Italy, Austria and Croatia. It's in a really unique place. It's got, I think, the tiniest beach in the whole of Europe, as in like country beach side. That's the worst description ever, but anyway, that's one of the little facts about Slovenia.
I just remember a really stunning mountain pass that took us into a small town called Bovec, and there was the most wonderful river running through it. I think it's called the Socha Valley, and the river is just turquoise. It's just clear water. You can see the fish, the trout just swimming around. And it's just a really cool experience and nice to go swimming there as well. Yeah,
the Julian Alps are well worth to just look at them. When we were there in April, they were snow-capped. It was beautiful. In fact, it snowed on us when we were there because it's April. It was one of those late April ones where it was still felt more like winter than spring.
It's somewhere where they have proper seasons. So they do. In the winter, you can go skiing. But in the summer, you go mountain biking and many other activities as well, like kayaking as well. There's some great whitewater rapids and stuff like that.
And mountain biking. Theo went mountain biking there with his friend Robin as well. And before I forget...
Robin's actually moved and bought a house in Slovenia because he came out to see us and fell in love with it. He went and bought a house there. He did. It's incredible.
It is amazing. And I just wanted to say before I forget... It's been a long time since I had it, but you know when something happens to you in your life and it just sticks with you forever? Slovenia, they have this thing.
The bled cream cake.
Oh my gosh.
It is called that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the most divine delicacy you could ever have. It's kind of like a custard slice. If you're from the UK and you go to Greg, you'll know a custard slice. It's like that, it's bigger, and it's got like a layer of custard and a layer of cream, but it's also got this flavour to it, like kind of lemony. Oh, just thinking about it makes me salivate. It's the best food
happily
ever.
Eat like 10 bled cream cakes in a row. I may put on a stone, but it'd be worth it. They're so they taste so good. So if you do go to Slovenia, you'll probably check out Lake Bled and go and get a bled cream cake.
You've got to, please do. And if you do, let me know because I'm very jealous. Okay, so country number 5, last but not least, like we said, there's no order to this. And also, before I forget, we've got videos about going to every single one of these destinations. We have playlists, so check them out because I know you've got time on your hands right now. I might even
excuses.
Watch them. Yeah, exactly. So number 5, it's Finland.
Oh, Finland. We went to Finland at the perfect time. There was actually a heat wave going on. And Finland is known for the many lakes that they have there.
They have over 100,000 lakes.
That's a lot of lakes.
A lot.
And we swam in most of them.
We went swimming like 3 times a day, every day, for about 3 weeks, because when we were there was the heat wave like Theo said, and when you're in a van, unless you've experienced extreme heat when you're in a van, you can't quite describe how you just can't quite get cool, and there's nothing like jumping in a nice cold Nordic lake. Man, it was brilliant.
And Finland's facilities for outdoorsy people, hikers, camper vans, it's perfect. It's an amazing place that gets overlooked a lot.
It does.
Like we said, the lakes, you can swim in them, there's places to go fishing, there's all sorts of different activities, and we stayed in some incredible car parks that had like little cabins on them that you could actually stay in with fire pits, free firewood again. Yeah, it's just an unbelievable experience.
Yeah, and most of the time we were there on our own as well, and it was just after the midnight sun season, so the days were incredibly long, which is great because you could get loads of stuff done in one day.
I feel like Finland is a really good place to find true wilderness. Sometimes we'd go down these tracks that just, we'd find ourselves in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And that leads us on to one of the best things and the best experience we had in Finland. Which were
seeing the bears,
just the wildlife in general, I think.
Yeah, and the reindeer.
Seeing wild bears in Finland, I can't even express how cool that was.
It was really cool, and also kind of scary as well, because they just emerge and you're like, damn, I'm just staying in my van just down the road from here. I hope Ginjey Bear doesn't get snatched by a real bear.
But we went to a few different bear watching places and were lucky enough to see multiple eagles. We saw foxes. What else did we see? Wolverine, which is very rare to see.
Yeah,
that's
was
rarer
amazing.
to see than even the bears.
Yeah.
But we saw so many bears. I can't put into words what an amazing experience it was. So if you're in Finland, please go and see the bears, because it's just seeing bears in Europe. There's something so special about it.
It really is. And if you're wondering where you can go and see the bears, they're generally on like the Russian border.
Yeah.
So if that's where you're thinking of going, that's perfect. You can definitely go and see the bears. So that's the 5 countries. The 5 countries that are great to travel in vans and have immense things to go and see.
Yeah, I hope that's given you a little bit of escapism. It definitely has for me. Just thinking back and thinking of all the different places we've been and all the experiences we've had. It's nice to escape in your mind, and it won't be long and we'll be back on the road and we can go and experience some new places, so we can do another top 5 at some other point.
Canada, we're coming when we can.
Please reopen your borders and we'll be there. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.